How does planning and saving for your future build wealth? Well, let's talk about that today, because planning and savings is something that most people don't do and actually hate to do. I used to sell these cool t-shirts that say, do paperwork or be poor, because that's part of your planning. You've got to actually get in front and be an active engager in your wealth building. So a couple things we're going to talk about is how planning actually benefits your wealth building. Number two, the benefits of investing versus savings, because honestly, even though that savings word is in my title of this video, I don't really like the word savings. I like to invest, I like to make it, invest it, make it, invest it, not make spend. And savings is just a weird word. We'll talk about that more. The last thing is, what do you do versus what do you not do when you're managing your finances? Because a lot of people don't even have some basic money rules. I call them their home economic rules. They don't even have basics. So we're going to come to that at the end. So stay tuned till then. So how does planning help with your wealth building? Well, number one, you want to start tracking and understanding a P&L and a balance sheet, right? So a P&L is all the money you make and all the money you spend. A balance sheet is all the money that you own, all the things you own, assets, minus the liabilities, is everything you owe other people, is your net worth. So when I say I can help create millionaires in 3 to 5 years, it's usually a 3 to 5 year millionaire that's a net worth millionaire. But managing just basic day-to-day finances, say in the month, is all the sources of money that come in. You want to start tracking them. Do they come from rental? Do they come from a job? Do they come because you're a CEO of a company, your own company, by the way, which you all need to say yes to that eventually. And then where's the money being spent? So you want to track your ins and outs. You want to track what's left over. That's called your cash flow. That is not discretionary income. That's what a lot of people used to call it. It's what my family used to call it. Then the next thing you want to do is just set some clear financial goals from how you can see it. So a lot of you in the beginning, you're just focused on your money. I need to make more money, but you also need to start looking at, do you spend money? So I use a word called forecasting, not budgeting, because I don't believe any of you have to live within your means. I think you all are very capable and you can grow your means. So why aren't you growing your means? So you grow your means through making more money through a variety of sources. The worst quality of money that you could make is a job. Do you make the money? You're taxed immediately, and then you get to live on what's left. If you make your money as an entrepreneur in a company, the company makes the money. It gets the legal action of upward of, now I guess it's 76,000 to 81,000 pages of tax code, depending on the year and who's in office. So when you can make your money, do all these amazing legal deductions, then you do depreciating asset investing, then you pay tax, you got a gold mine. So the strategy starts with the planning. It starts with how you're making your money and how you're spending your money. And forecasting is growing your means. So what else can you do? And I'm not asking you to quit your job. There's a lot of you, you're coming to me as millionaires, and you made your millions by having a $250,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 job. So those of you who make that kind of money, where you're making that kind of income, what sounds better? I make $250,000 as a job, or my company makes $250,000? Up to you. So how you get paid is critical. How you make money, how you forecast, meaning how do you spend? Because your spending personally is not deductible. Spending inside companies has deductions. So it's a big difference. So we'll get more sophisticated as you listen. Again, you are here on my YouTube channel. So while we're here, I want you to subscribe, click that notification button, be here 5 days a week. And on this topic of income and expenses, I want you to go to the search bar and totally understand exactly what income is, what's expenses, should you use your debit card, credit card. There's playlists. I have so many hours. I have over 3.5 years of videos and content here for you to really immerse yourself in this content. And while you're here listening to the videos, the other thing I'm going to caution you to do is go around to a lot of other money sites, financial sites. You can go check other stuff out, but if they're in a different lane, if they're using words like savings, if they're saying live within your means, if they're, telling you not to have a company, not to have a trust, not to pay attention to your taxes, because God forbid you're so not smart enough to figure it out. You want to run from those. You want to run out of that lane and get back over to this lane on this channel. Share it with a bunch of people, because the people around you are supporting your behavior, and your financial behavior is usually inherited by the people you were either grew up with or that you hang out with. The second thing I want to talk about is how investing versus savings is a huge piece. So as you make money, you want to pay yourself first. Well, in my version of that, you're making money inside your company, and then you are either loaning the money or your company's buying a new asset, or you actually can fund another company to go buy another asset. So you're always making and investing is how you need to be thinking. Not I'm going to go make and then go buy another car. I'm going to go buy another big screen TV or another, trinket. We're not talking about lifestyle stuff. We're talking about investing. And if you are not convinced of the compounding power of money, get out a compounding calculator, start with maybe $1,000, $2,000, and see how fast you can make that 6 figures. See how fast then 6 figures can double to 7 figures and 8 figures. When you start a compounding effect, just pick, say, a 12% average simple interest rate, and you put your money to work. You add to it and you allow it to compound. At 12%, constantly adding every month to it, you'll be a millionaire faster than you think. So think about investing and putting money away. It was brilliant. My daughter just turned 18 and she was looking at one of her iFlip accounts. In fact, I'm going to give you an iFlip account. You can go grab it in the link below. It's a free app to a software where you can put your money. We outperform the S&P, but it's through Smartfolio. So it's a software that you're putting your money into. I'm not telling you as an advisor to invest in the market. I don't do that. I'm not an advisor. But I use that software. My daughter used that software for a Roth IRA, and it's quite a bit of money because I've been building it since she was born. And she said, what am I going to do with all that money? And I said, well, you don't get it until your 60s. And she's like, what's the point of that? I said, exactly the point is later in life, because if you tangle up the during life, I got you covered at the end. So you'll thank me later. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is what to do and not do. So the number one thing to not do is to commingle. So if you make money in a job, you're going to put that money in your personal bank account. You can loan that money over to your company or a company account, but you don't have your paycheck go to a company account. I just recently had some clients that did that, and they're like, yeah, but if we make our paycheck inside a company, it's already been taxed. Now you got income in another company that you got to file another tax form for. It doesn't work like that. Keep your money non-commingled. So personal money, which is W-2, paychecks, right? Your salary goes into your personal, you can spend your personal account that is not deductible expenses. When your company makes money, again, you got 76,000, 81,000 pages of tax code right now, 2024 in the United States. You can deduct a ton. So you're going to be living corporate life. In fact, right now, I want to give you tickets to what's called our Millionaire Intensive. It's where I go through what does it take to have the blueprint of a millionaire? How do you start the sequence? And what are the steps you need to start taking so you actually can get in a pattern of making money and investing money, making money, investing money? It's not difficult. It's different than any of you have ever lived or been taught. I think that what I teach here on this YouTube channel should start at 5, 6, 7 years old. It's not, so it's okay, but we'll get you started. The other thing you want to start doing, again, to my second point, is you want to start putting money into a wealth account on a regular basis. You want to pay yourself first into an account. And iFlip is probably the best. It's going to outperform a CD. Clearly doesn't have any fees like mutual funds, bonds, any of that crap. So you're not going to park your money and pray with a financial planner. And the last thing is start developing some money rules, some home economic rules. Like, what are your rules? Are you going to use debit cards or credit cards? We're a huge family of credit cards. I don't really believe that you need to use your debit card unless it's an emergency and you have to pull money right out of your account. Use other people's money, which is a bank's money, for 30 days, pay it off every month like clockwork, and you stay at 0% and use somebody else's money, and there's some liability protection. So whether you use credit cards, debit cards, whether you borrow money to families, another home economic rule. Whether you pay your kids an allowance. I don't believe in allowances. I think you have to actually get a task list. Then you negotiate for what those tasks are. And if you do them, you get paid. And if you don't make any money that month. So it gets pretty rigorous. So if you have any questions about this, I'm here every day, 5 days a week. So I'll see you back here tomorrow. But go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL. Ask a question, make a request. Talk to you in the morning.